This video will show you how to replace a camshaft position sensor on a Cadillac CTS with a 3.6 liter engine. You'll have 4 of these, 2 along each side of the front of your engine. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. We're going to remove the upper engine cover. To do that, make your way to the engine oil cap. We'll turn that counterclockwise so we can remove it. Inspect the seal. Just make sure it's in good usable order. If it's torn, you're going to want to replace that. To remove the engine cover, gently lift up. We'll set that aside and reinstall the engine oil cover. Now that we have the cover out of the way, we're going to be making our way down towards the driver's side VVT solenoids down in this area. This is going to be located in and behind our power steering reservoir, so this will have to be dislodged so we can gain access in that area. Now, since this does have to move, and I want to try to avoid removing any power steering fluid, I'm going to be removing this air inlet tube here. Then we'll continue on with the reservoir, slide it out of the way so we can gain access. Now, as far as this air inlet tube, you do have a breather tube that leads down to it along the inboard side there. It's fairly simple to just take hold of that and slide it out of place. If it feels like it's stuck in position, you can attempt to use a pick. Just be careful not to cause any damage. We'll rest that aside. Now, to continue removing this area here, you're going to find that you have 2 clamps, one here, one down there. The process will be the same. You can use a flat blade screwdriver or an 8mm socket. We'll loosen each clamp enough that it can move, and we should be able to separate this. Make our way down to the next. Slide this right out of position. You can see where that tube went onto. We can gain access to the power steering reservoir hardware now. You're going to find that you have 2 13mm headed mounting bolts. You'll have one on this corner on the inboard side. You're going to find one hidden down along the bottom of the reservoir, but then you're also going to have an 18mm mounting bolt over towards the driver's side. I'm going to start with the larger bolt here first. Let's make our way down for the 13mm bolt under here. Fairly difficult to see. We have the next one tucked into this area. Now that we have that out of the way, we can see each of our 2 camshaft position sensors on bank 2 or the driver's side here. First thing I like to do is go ahead and clean any mess in the area. Obviously, we do have a belt down under here. You want to be aware of that. Let's try not to get any detergent on it. I'm just going to use a rag. We'll give it a quick wipe. Now that I have that pulled away, we have a clear view of our 2 camshaft position sensors that are located on bank 2. The one closest to the center of the engine would be the intake side. The one closest to the outside of the engine and the exhaust would be the exhaust side. Bank 1 would be the passenger side of the engine. Now, once you've cleaned it down, we're going to start with the electrical connector. It has a squeezable locking tab, but these can be fairly difficult to squeeze. If you find you have a hard time, you can use a small angled pick. Come in from the opposite side from where that tab is, gently pull it away while you make your way under and lift the wiring harness out of position. Every time you disconnect an electrical connector, take a peek. If you see any funny colors, that's corrosion and it would need to be taken care of. This one looks fine, so I'm setting it aside. Now we're moving along to our 1 10mm headed mounting bolt holding this in place. Once you have that bolt out of place, we'll continue on to taking hold of the camshaft position sensor You want to try to give it a wiggle. We're attempting to break it free. Obviously, we want to be careful not to break it off in the engine. As I give this a wiggle, I'm pulling it out straight forward and away from the engine. There it is, friend. Now, prior to installing any part, of course, we want to make sure we clean and inspect our mounting area. So we're focusing on the port leading into the engine. In this area, I can see some oil. As I clean it, I want to make sure nothing makes its way inside of that port. I'm just going to use a clean rag, no detergents. Let's get ready to install our camshaft position sensor. We're going to carefully slide it in towards the engine. Once it's pressed in as far as possible and flush, line up the mounting bolt port. We'll start in the mounting bolt and then torque that to 89 inch-pounds. After torquing, confirm it's secured, continue on to your electrical connector. As far as that electrical connector, we're lining it up, the locking tab's facing out, press it down, audible click, and it's secure. As I mentioned, the process for one is the exact same thing as the other one, that's right up here. This would be the intake side. One last quick inspection in this area. Let's reinstall our power steering reservoir. Let's get this reservoir in place. We have two 13mm mounting bolts, one on the inboard upper side here. The second 13mm bolt is down along the bottom. And now we have our 18mm headed mounting bolt on the far outside corner of this. They're all started in, let's snug them up. Make sure that's secured in place. Now let's get this in place. Before I bring it down into position, as you remember, there was one hose that slid down onto this area. You want to make sure you don't forget that. With that said, let's go ahead and get this in position. We're starting up along the intake plenum along the front here. That's where your throttle body is. Just bring it down. We're aligning this. You're going to press it on as far as possible. Make sure the clamp is nice and tight. You don't want any dirty air making its way inside of the engine. If when tightening your clamps, it skips a tooth, you're going to want to replace that clamp. This was good, so let's continue on. This tube's pretty much already aligned, which is nice. I'm just pressing it onto the air filter housing. I'm holding it in the proper position, and then of course I'm going to tighten that clamp. That's secure as well. Time for that hose down along the back side. As far as this hose is concerned, just go ahead and line it up. We'll press it down on there as far as possible. Once you feel as though you have it in the proper placement, just go ahead and give it a light tug. You want to make sure it's secured. If it slides off of there fairly easily, you can hold it in place with something as basic as a wire tie if necessary. We're getting ready to install the upper engine cover. We have to remove the engine oil cap. Now let's get that engine cover in place. When we bring it over towards the engine, up along the top of the intake plenum, you will have several studs. We have the one that we just removed and installed. You have the other two along the back side there. Let's get this in place. As I start bringing this down, the easiest way to line this up is to align the circular port for the oil fill. After that, just make sure it looks as though it's straight. We'll give it a wiggle. It feels like it wants to settle in, so I'm going to press it down. Now I'll just give it a quick wiggle here. We do want to make sure it's secured along all four corners. Let's get that oil cap in place. Double check, make sure that's secured so no moisture or debris make its way inside of your oil system. Okay friend, we finished our installation. Now whenever I do something like this, I always recommend doing an engine oil and filter change afterward. After that, you can go ahead and start the vehicle. You're going to let it run, make sure you have no running condition and no check engine light. Close the hood, take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.